Welcome everybody to another episode of The Blackest Heart, our D&D 5th edition campaign for Totally Online Gaming Group. We're glad you guys could join us. So, hopefully you've been in and seen our kind of pre-show video to catch most of the information and announcements. But we do have a couple that we do need to get out of the way, so I'm going to turn it over to Jacob for the Critical Hit Gaming Supplies announcement.
Hey, howdy. As you know, since our very good friends for a long time, we have been sponsored by Critical Hit Gaming Supplies, and they are a great group that allows dice trays, dice bags, and miniatures all around the bunch. If there's a specific miniature in their store that you like, you can choose it there. If you think there's a miniature that you don't see in the store but you do like, you can go ahead and go to their Contact Us thing on their criticalhitgamingsupplies.com. between my account and cart. And whenever you take a purchase there, you can use the promo code TOGG15 to get 15% off of any of your purchases. Critical Hit Gaming Supplies.
All right. All right. Thank you, Jacob. All right. Just a real quick announcement. As always, our pre-show video is going to handle most of our announcements, but real quick one. I want to let everyone know that tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Klein NF and I are going to be doing another one of our collaborative build streams in Tailspire. And, drumroll please, we will actually be giving away a Tailspire beta key. We'll be doing that on this next collaborative build stream. One more on the one after that, and one more on the one after that. So if you want Tailspire, you want to get in on the beta, I recommend you show up tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the collaborative build, and listen for the keyword that I'll put out and put that in so that you can possibly win a beta key for Tailspire and get it for yourselves. Other than that, no other announcements, unless anybody else has anything. Nope. Okay. Well, then without further ado, we bring you The Blackest Heart. And we are back. Okay, so to fill everyone in on where we last left off, the party had been at the river's edge while they were making their way back to Astron to deliver the knucklebones of St. Aurelius to the Church of Palor, so that they could take possession of the piece of the Blackest Heart that they had originally found and was currently being kept safe at the church. Well, while they're at the river, they noticed some very large and very well-muscled individuals standing at the other riverbank watching them, which led to a chase through the woods, up a tree, and then eventually a very fear-filled reunion for Oak with his former tribe. They eventually went back to where the tribe had set up their camp, which was not as normal as Oak would have remembered things. There were some strange signs around the camp, things that just didn't add up. Oak then had a very tear-filled reunion with his mother, and then decided that it was about time he stepped up and faced his past, where the second in command of the tribe, the lieutenant, who was one of the bullies from his youth, was challenged by Oak for the position of lieutenant in one-on-one combat, and Oak, through might and valor, came out victorious, not only ending his foe, but disgracing him by forcing him to tap out.
Yes!
It was also discovered by the keen eyes of the bard and her quick wit that the shaman of the tribe, another negative influence from Oak's past, was having negative influence on the clan chieftain. And the bard quickly intervened, using a little bit of her magical trickery and skills, which actually paved the way for Oak to be able to challenge the lieutenant, and therefore win himself the position of a full-on member of the tribe, and in fact the second in command. And that is where we had left off last session. So now, it is up to you guys. What do you want to do now?
Well, like, are we still? Is everyone still like cheering around? We're in the circle, and Oak is just like, yeah.
Yes, there's a big circle around. Everyone is just going nuts, with the exception of a few people.
Yeah, well, I don't care about those people. See, Oak is gonna go over to Turon, and Oak is doing this to be genuinely nice. Shelby's doing this to be an asshole. He's gonna offer a hand to Turon and be like, "Hey, do you need the help standing up?"
Turon looks up at you, still kind of weakened from the chokehold and not completely all there. His sense is still a little phased. He looks up at you. Kind of an angry grimace upon his face. He takes a deep breath, blows it out, and he reaches up and takes your hand.
Okay. And then Oak will help him up, and he'll say, "That was a great fight."
He looks at you and...
Maybe we can do this... maybe we can do this again, but in a friendlier way, and not killing each other way, and that wouldn't be challenging each other.
He looks you dead in the eyes. There's still some anger there, but he says, "I guess you are no longer the runt."
Yeah, no, I grew out of that once I started getting phone bills.
Yeah, instead of your prison meal eating that you were doing before, way back when.
Yeah. Yeah, when Turon and Ursula were stealing his food.
Yeah. He kind of nods for a second, and he turns his head as he turns around. His head's kind of down a little bit as he walks away. And Ursula is right there, kind of standing at the edge of the crowd. Turon walks right past him, kind of stops and looks at him for a second. Ursula looks away, looks up at you, walks out from the edge of the crowd, puts his hand out. He says, "You have proven a good warrior. I was wrong."
Oak will do the hand thingy too.
Okay.
Warrior grasp thing.
Yep. the like elbow pit forearm grasp. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says,
the thing that guys do.
Yep. And he says, "You are a warrior. I was wrong, Lieutenant." And he kind of bows his head a little bit, and then grabs your wrist, pulls it up in the air, and goes, "Roar!" And everyone again just cheering erupts.
Yeah! Oh, this is awesome.
Rhogar cheers for fun. No clue what's going on still. Like,
it's like, why is everyone yelling? Golf claps. Golf claps.
Oh, everyone's yelling, so I might as well.
can't keep up with feelings.
All right, Jacob and Rhogar, where you guys were at the kind of the formation of this ring of battle, it was almost directly opposite of where the chieftain stood, and therefore where Oak came into the circle and everything. You're almost directly opposite of that. And I need both of you to make perception checks, please.
Okay. I'm good at this.
Time
Okay. I got a 10.
Okay. So, and what'd you get there, Jacob? 13. Well, if you are all trying to go on hearing, and if Hrim is on Oak, was he on Oak's shoulder the entire fight?
No.
I
think I would have put Harim on Diana.
Okay. And she was over near where you are on the other side. So,
Yeah.
Hrim is kind of focused on what was happening in the ring. So he's not looking in the right direction. And if you were going based off hearing, well, it is way too loud. However, you manage to, as Hrim's head is moving around a little bit, you manage to catch just out of the very corners of his vision, in his peripheral, some movement that was in where the shaman was standing, where Thunder was, as you saw him kind of move away from the group and slip off somewhere. You don't know exactly where. Rhogar, since you were looking over there, you actually saw him kind of back out from standing next to the chieftain and slightly behind him, just kind of back up a little bit and then walk away. Behind, and you just saw him move away. You can't say exactly where he went because there are so many, people around this ring. He's kind of now behind them, and it's difficult to see.
Rhogar, I'm gonna look to Jacob. Excuse me real quick, I'm just gonna scoop Jacob real quick.
Okay.
You're coming with me real quick. And then I'm gonna attempt to follow where I think he went, Thunder.
Okay. So you're going to have to either attempt to push through more the crowd kind of that's in front and around you, into the center of the circle, walk across the circle, push through the other side, or you're going to have to go all the way around.
Go all the way around.
Yeah, I was like, I don't see Rhogar just pushing through people that he doesn't know. So yeah, no, I would go all around. I can't run, that would draw attention.
Yeah, clang, clang, clang,
Yeah.
clang.
Why is that sheet of metal running away down here? But yeah, no, I'll risk it and I will take the long way around.
Okay. So you are kind of leading Jacob the long way around this about 25-foot diameter circle. And it's actually a little wider due to the number of bodies packed in around the edges. It's, four deep almost all the way around this thing. And as you're going around, I will need you to make another perception check to see if you can find where he's headed off.
Oh, that's a lot better. Okay, 17.
Okay, as you come around towards that side, where you're now approaching where the chieftain is, where Diana's standing, where Thunder was standing, as you kind of come around there, you see probably about a good 30-40 feet away from you, over by some of the tents, you think you see some movement just kind of going around the corner. I'm not necessarily sure if that is Thunder, but that seemed to be the general direction he was going. And that's the best you can tell.
Oh, yes, sorry. Sometimes I just act without thinking. I decided that, I noticed, one of the furrier
You
ones
decided.
walking away. Yeah, one of the furrier ones were walking away. He didn't look so happy, so, I put him down. Can you talk to your familiar and get your familiar to let them know or something? I don't know how familiars work. can't speak through it. I've heard of rumors. Well, we don't have time to talk. Let's go. Oh, yes. Okay. I will just drag you, I guess. We don't have time to waste.
I will be right back.
Yeah, that might have jumped us around.
Not really. It only moved.
It moved Oak.
Yeah. First.
Once Oak comes back, that should resolve itself. Yes, turn your volume up just a hair.
I tried to do that.
Okay, that's a little. I can hear you a little better, so hopefully they can as well.
A little.
Yep.
I grabbed my mouse like I could actually use it.
Let me try this.
Hey,
Welcome back.
what a different shirt.
I missed you.
No.
Okay, I don't know why it looked like a different shirt.
I've been wearing my out in the grape shirt. I will always wear it. I love it.
There we go. There, that's got that.
Oh! This guy on top of it. That's what he said.
Okay.
Now I can hear you. Okay.
Alright, good.
How about now?
Oh.
Yes, definitely
Yeah,
much.
I can definitely hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You were quiet before, but now you're good.
Is this really loud or?
No,
No,
it's fine. Much better.
Yep.
Yep, it said perfect even in chat, so.
Gotcha.
Okay, so. You are calling Grim?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of get Prim to move towards the direction that we are so I can see myself.
Okay, Prim kind of hops off of Diana's shoulder and just kind of glides. It's kind of like a jump and then falls down, but it's really he just spreads his wings and picks up some air and shoots up, and then comes and alights on your shoulder on the leather patch that you have specifically for him. And he is once again acting as your eyes, as he normally does.
I'm going to stealth my way to the tent that Rhogar may or may not have pointed out at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. Why he stalls me? I'm just gonna walk straight up to it. I know I can't stall.
Okay. Well, you can always try.
I'll try. I'll try.
You're just at disadvantage because of your armor.
Okay. Well, 16 the first roll. Oh, 14 the next roll. -1 makes 13.
15.
Okay. Alright, so let me just do a little of this. If I can.
I would love to see Rhogar.
There we go. And let's see what I can. Okay. Good to know. Alright. So, you are making your way towards the corner of this tent, and you kind of slip around the corner. And as you do, I need perception checks again from both of you. Now
Awesome.
you have Rim again, so you're back to your normal.
Advantage +3.
Alright. have to
17.
16.
Okay. Once again, you both notice, just as you get around the corner, you see what looks like, with these rolls high enough, you see the kind of the butt end of the staff and a trailing leg going through some flaps in the tent that are on the side, entering into that tent. And it looks like the butt end of Thunderstaff, as you know, his trailing leg and the back part of that staff enter through as he does.
Young person. I don't really. Jacob, yes. Let's go.
No,
You just follow me. You just be sneaky. I'm just going in there. I don't care. I do care though. I'll lie my way out. Could I actually stumble into the tent? Like I'm lost and I'm like, oh no, I tripped and fell into the tent.
I'm gonna continue to stealth away, get around to the other side if possible.
Okay. So you're going to try to stumble into the tent, Rhogar. And you're going to try to sneak around the other side of it. So I will need a stealth check at disadvantage from you, Jacob, because Rhogar is ouch.
It's fine, I'm sneaky.
Mm-hmm. What's your? It's a skill check though, so it's not an automatic failure. A 7. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. Okay, so
Watch you fall.
So Rhogar, you kind of fall through stumble through the flaps and enter into this tent. And as you do, no one is there. You're in an empty tent. There's stuff there, but there's nobody in there that you can see.
Okay, now I wish I would have went to sleep and I would have. What spells do I have?
Yes.
And Jacob, as you were trying to sneak past the flap, you can, look in with Rim as Rhogar kind of stumbles through. You would see the same thing. You don't notice anyone in there. And Rhogar's a little bit in the way, so you're not sure, maybe, that's it, but that's what you saw as well.
That was a dumb idea. I was about to
Well, no ideas are dumb ideas. They're just untested ideas.
I wasn't actually going to probably shout in case he's invisible and he'd still be affected, but I don't know how hostile that was.
What the fuck?
Look, it's my go-to. Like, hey, if I can't see a person,
That's what makes me get. Makes sense.
I'll scare someone. I will I'll speak to the room.
Okay.
Hello, is anyone there?
How long do you wait for a response?
I'll give it a solid 30 seconds and then I'll say it again.
Okay.
If anyone doesn't reply.
No one replies at the first 30 seconds.
This time around I'll say, I'm pretty sure I saw someone walk through these flaps and now there's no one here. I mean ill intent, so you can show yourself to me.
10 seconds go by. 20. 30. Still no response.
That's just a good one.
Give me a perception check. And Jacob, are you still kind of going around the outside of the tent? Okay. I need one from you as well, then.
Come on, tiny boy. Okay. Okay.
Jacob, you go first.
Yeah, not the things that I need, but that's okay. Give me a second to get that. 12.
Cool. Okay.
19.
Okay.
Alright.
It was almost a 2.
All right. You notice,
Yikes.
Rhogar, at first, you notice that the back of the tent, the other side, it's a good 15 feet or so away from you. But it doesn't look solid. There's something just a little off of it. It looks like it's a, at first glance, it looks like it's a solid back, but you think you actually see some kind of seam there that's just really well hidden.
Rhogar will approach it.
Okay.
Wait, there's a hidden door in a tent?
Hey, you're not be surprised.
He's a shaman, he's magic.
Yeah, magic.
Yeah, but that's still annoying, and you don't possess the TARDIS here. So.
You don't know.
I'll step to the slit and I'll just walk through it. Let's see what happens. I was gonna stick my hand. I'm just gonna go.
You're going to try to walk through it? Okay. You open it apart. Jacob, you see Rhogar come out of the back of the tent. And it actually looked kind of odd because it didn't look like the tent had an opening there. But then all of a sudden, it just kind of parted and he stepped through and he was there where you had just come around the back of the tent. And both of you, with your perception rolls from this last time, I'll also say, you now see some footsteps that it seems like they're a relatively large person, probably about the size of the shaman, that seem to be heading off in another direction behind a different tent.
Is which
Okay.
went through it.
I feel like Rhogar's getting pretty pissed now.
Just up and follow him now.
Yeah.
Or, you could stop following him and then go to Oak, and then Oak can request a meeting with him, like a civilized person would do.
I'm gonna look at Jacob and say, we need the others, so get them. I'll attempt to track them.
Alright.
I work better alone sometimes. Dark. Well, I guess it doesn't affect you.
Yeah. Alright, you have fun doing your solo trekking thing.
Yeah.
Find a way if you need any help, say something?
Oh, I have I will strike the ground with a thunder smite and hopefully
that! I mean, I guess that I was thinking something more subtle, like I could... Oh, never mind, whatever.
Very well.
Good luck to you as well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take off in a full sprint.
Okay!
Okay. Which way?
I'm gonna attempt to
follow the tracks? Okay.
Yeah.
So you see they really just go about another 15-20 feet and then around another tent.
Just him sprinting.
Yeah. I'm just off.
Yeah. And eventually as you kind of come around that tent, you're kind of in almost a maze of tents, the way things are set up, because it's not like a military encampment where they've got which you have seen before, where they've got order and a little bit of discipline on you put your tents all facing this way and this far apart and stuff like that. It's not like that at all. This is very haphazard. So there's a bunch of different tents around, but as you come around this one, that you're pretty sure this is where the tracks were leading, you see a bunch more tents in front of you, and I will need from you a straight-up intelligence check.
Oh, God, no.
And you just let the intelligence boy go.
I mean, 16 minutes 115.
Okay. Out of these tents, you notice that many of them are decorated in different ways. You're kind of figuring out a little bit of a pattern. It seems like, some of them have wolf furs and themes like that, painted on there. Maybe a moon and a silhouette of a howling wolf and things like that on the tents. Some of them have fur and motifs on them that look like big cats. Some like bears. Some like, all different ones. And then there's this one that is kind of a little bit farther back. Then it has a lot more skulls than the others.
Oh.
Someone's emo.
And they all seem to be skulls that look... You're not exactly sure what it is, but it is... it's definitely some forest animal. Definitely not a prey-type animal. This is some kind of predator. But you're not necessarily sure. You may recognize this animal with it, everything, the flesh on the skull, but you wouldn't necessarily know it by, especially from this distance, by just a skull. So you'd have to get closer and maybe investigate if you wanted to figure that out. But there seems to be several of these skulls on, like hanging from like beaded chains made of vines and beads and things like that, all over this town. And with your intelligence check, that's the general direction that you think these footprints are going.
I'll, something while he's chasing. Yeah, I'm just gonna walk into the tent.
Okay. So while you're heading over that way, Jacob, what are you doing?
Okay, Jacob is going to... right, so that's the thing. We're gonna head there. Hey! No, this isn't a voice in your head, it's me.
Wait, are you sending this to Oak?
Yeah.
Okay. And Oak just like...
You got 14 words left.
Shaman being sneaky, Rhogar and I followed? Not lurking.
Say no more, I shall come find you. And Oak goes to find Jacob.
Alright.
Yeah, I can come to you. That was, boom, right there. That was the end of what you said. So, alright.
Oak goes to find Jacob. He stops at Graveyard. He's like, I'm gonna go talk to my friends for a bit. I will be right back for any of your important things, and then I will be good to do lieutenant stuff.
Yes. We have much to discuss, Lieutenant.
Got it. I just think my friends are getting into some hijinks, and I should probably stop them before they get killed. So.
Understood.
You know friends. They're...
And it just kind of a very deep, loud, low growl. Not one of... I mean, you've heard this before when you were a kid. It's not one of anger. It's more one of, like, understanding, as far as you know. other people might not get this, but in your tribe, in your community where you grew up, some of this non-word usage communication comes across, fairly easily, and it's just this.
Yeah, got it. Then we'll go find Jacob.
Okay.
And drag Diana along with him.
Sounds good. All right, so I'll give you, let's say, it hasn't been terribly long, and they haven't gone too terribly far. I'll give you, let's say, 2 perception checks. Okay. Also, just so you know, Jacob, you actually still have an advantage that had been given to you by Klein NF that you have not used.
Oh, goodness. Don't remind me of things that I have to actually do stuff. Oh, God.
That's a 15 and a 13.
Okay, that is enough for you to pick up the scent of non-shifters in the camp pretty easily.
Okay,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Human. Yeah, okay, they're this one.
Yeah, he smells weird.
I'm human adjacent.
Human adjacent. So, yeah, you manage to figure out which direction they're located, and you start heading that way with Diana in tow. However, they are kind of a little bit of a head start. At least Rhogar is for sure. In the direction he's going. Jacob, you were kind of just hanging out by that other tent in bewilderment as Rhogar ran off. So, Rhogar.
Yeah.
You are now getting to the door of this tent as you kind of stomp your way over there, a little disgruntled. Ed, you're...
Just say you've got a paper cut or something, and you need...
I have a way around this.
Because he's supposed to be the healer, too.
I sense an omen being sent my way.
I will enter the tent.
Okay. As you enter the tent, you see sitting... Oh, I think we have a bard now.
Why, I said I sense an omen coming.
An omen coming. All right, I will attempt to fix the cameras in just a little bit, but let me describe this at this point in time. So, as you step in, you see about 15 feet away from you, on the other side of this tent, it's a decent-sized tent, nowhere near as large as the chieftain's tent, which is, massive, but it's a decent size. And on the other side of the tent, seeming to sit on a pile of furs, kind of like almost like a makeshift bed of furs, cross-legged, and smoking a rather large pipe, is Thunder. And he's just staring at you as you come in, and he says, "Ah, yes, the armored human. Come, sit down."
Uh-oh.
To be a human, I'm human adjacent.
Yeah, as far as he knows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll take a seat with them.
Okay. So, as you sit down, he looks at you, and he says, "I sense you dabble in the arts, do you not?"
Yeah, I've tried once or twice. For a while.
I also sense a darkness within you.
Oh, sure.
Perhaps you and I are not so different.
is cursed.
Well,
Oh no.
my fair friend, I mean, if we're
Do the plan.
we're in the same boat, we might as well, no one's around, no one's here. We might as well share a little information. I would like to know more about the person who's inside of me. And you seem pretty wise.
That I am. I have learned many things in my life. Many.
Bitch, don't trust him. Even though Oak is the one that disfigured him. Thunder's a little shithead.
Yes. Yes. I have learned many things, including the whereabouts of more power. Perhaps this interests you.
He knows about the blackest heart, doesn't he?
Power? That's... I am trying to conquer a kingdom, I need as much power as I can get.
I completely understand. Maybe we could make a bargain.
No.
Punch him in the dick. Punch him in the dick.
I need you to roll a wisdom save.
Oh, shit.
Oh no!
Rhogar, you're wise, right?
I am.
Oh, this is where counter charm would come in handy, but I'm not there.
I have a +4.
Okay.
15 on the die, +4 is 19.
Okay. You know that the honeyed words that slip off his tongue are not just his own, but are imbued with power. And as they seep into your consciousness, your will is enough to fight them off. You, for just a split second, feel the urge to 100% agree with, yes, we should have an accord. But then your senses come back to you and you're like, wait a minute. This is tricky.
I mean, if we're gonna, share words, we might as well just do it for fun. I will reach into my pocket. I'll try to hide it. I'm gonna reach into my pocket and grab a hold of my newt, my eye of newt.
Okay.
And I will attempt to hex him. No, I mean I don't attempt to hex.
Okay, so and you're attempting to keep that hidden so that he doesn't notice.
Yeah.
So I will need a sleight of hand for that.
Proficient.
Actually, yeah, sleight of hand would be what it would be, because you're trying to slide your hand into your pocket without him noticing, and then get the eye of newt.
It's a 4.
Well,
2.
you never know. He could roll worse.
It's always an option.
I hope he gets that one.
I'll be on it. I'll hex you for real. I'm not scared.
Okay. That is very good to know. Alright. Okay, so.
What did he roll? I don't have to tell Spyro.
Yes, I know. That would be cheating. Ha ha ha. No, and you wouldn't be able to see anyway, unless you're watching the stream. Because I rolled it in secret. All you on the stream saw, well, guess what? He actually does have some wisdom bonus. So you slip your hand into your pocket and you attempt to cast Hex. Alright, and I will need a perception check from you as you are doing this.
Oh no.
18 plus 1, 19.
Okay, yeah, you notice as your hand slips into your pocket, so does his, as he as he sees yours going to your pocket.
Oh no.
Okay, when I see his hand,
at this point, can Oak burst into the tent like, hello?
Almost. Actually, you have found Jacob, and you are now about 10, 15 feet away from the door of this tent.
Okay.
So it'll take you another about 3 seconds or so to walk in.
Okay, because I want to just come in at this really dramatic moment.
Yeah, Oak was dragging you along.
Okay.
I told you that.
I'm gonna, now that I see him reaching for his pocket, I'm reaching for my pocket. I'm gonna say, look, you attempted to manipulate my mind once. I was just gonna return the favor in a way. But, let's...
He smiles really big, which is really creepy because now you actually get a good look. Like Oak, some of the animalistic features are a little bit pronounced, and you can clearly see his teeth are pointed and sharp, and in fact, they look a lot like the teeth on the skulls outside.
Oh.
I will,
And as he
just hit me.
as he smiles at you, he says, "As I said, we are very much alike." At this point, Oak, Jacob, and Diana, you are now at the entry flaps to this tent. And if you so desire to walk in, you may.
Oak,
Before they bust in, can we counter them again? Because it's supposed to last a good hot minute.
Yes, but you have to actually have line of sight. Actually, no, hold on. Let me double check and see your counter charm ability.
As an action, you can perform until the end of your next turn. During that time, you and any friendly creatures within 30 feet that can hear you gain advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed.
Okay, and how long does it say it lasts? Let's see.
It's for an entire round.
For one round. One round, so it's 6 seconds. So,
I'm still out.
that's okay. It's okay.
We'll give you time to wake up.
Yeah, just drink some Red Bull. Red Bull and vodka. You'll be all good.
It's
I mean,
Drink
as
some
long
water.
as it's not intelligence things, I'm fine.
Probably intelligent.
To be fair, I can also just talk from the wind because we're not in combat.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Okay, so I'm just going to go in screen order that I'm seeing here. So I'm going to go, Jacob.
Hey!
What are your plans here? Are you stepping through the door with the others? And what are you planning on doing?
Can I just say no? I'm too tired for combat, so can we please avoid it?
I don't plan on fighting.
Neither do I, so we are all in agreement on it.
The most that would happen is me using one thing and running.
Oak would punch him in the dick.
Are you going to be able to hit a target that small?
That's good.
So, Jacob is going to go through the door.
But it would be a testament to my aim if I could.
Yes, it would. So you're going through the door. What else are you going to do? Are you planning on anything?
He's going to... One second. Is it going? Thanks. He's going to, he's going to make a minor conjuration as he walks through the door of a picture of Oak.
No, because Oak is going to walk through the door.
He's conjuring a picture of Oak.
Okay.
Okay.
And he's walking through the door.
All right. Oak. Oak. You are.
Fabulous in that picture.
And all this is kind of happening at the same time. So, as Jacob's walking the door, are you walking through the door as well?
Oak is also going to walk through the door because he's used to Redfern's like open door policy, like you just come in if you're hurt and stuff. And he's just like, "Hi, Redfern," and then she'd be like, "Fuck, she's dead." really sad for a second. And then he's gonna say it. Oh, hey, Thunder. Just kind of just deadpan.
Okay. Diana?
She'll go in with them, but she's gonna kind of stay behind them and just keep an eye on what the fluff is going on.
Okay. I need from all three of you perception checks, please.
Yeah.
9.
Hang on.
This is the new lieutenant of the tribe, and he rolled a 9.
10 exactly.
Diana?
Hang on, I'm rolling it. You said perception?
Yes.
24.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, here's what's going to happen. I am going to send you a message on Discord, Diana. But what all of you would notice, Oak, you already knew this, but Jacob, I would say with just your base intelligence, you could kind of tell as you walked past the skulls on the outside. Those are Wolverine skulls.
Ooh, cool. I would have made him a
It's the bitch of necromancer?
I don't think so. He's supposed to, I don't know, he's a shaman. They're supposed to be shaman or shawoman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Maybe we'll find out. I don't know. So base intelligence, I know that those are Wolverine skulls.
Yes.
And Oak just knows.
And Oak just knows that, Thunder is a that's his totem animal is a Wolverine. And so that's what he, his features shift to.
He's not a Wolverine.
No.
He's not that awesome.
No, he's not. He's not. All right, so let me, I'm going to send a message real quick here to Diana.
Secret messages.
Yes.
Sponsored by Critical Hit Gaming. Dice trays, dice bags, dice, gaming miniatures for all of your needs.
Pretty nice.
Hold up. Come on.
Haha! My camera is better.
Come on. Do it.
I'll hold it up too, but you guys can't see.
My camera is superior.
It's focusing on my fingers, okay?
I was holding up a D4, sorry, God.
He's there in spirit.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was, my D20's at the bottom of my, pillar.
Yeah?
Don't laugh at me.
I'm not.
Are you still laying down?
Yes.
It might help if you sit up.
It'll be okay.
I'm not talking to you.
This will be very
Okay.
interesting to say the least.
So that is what you.
I was
you
literally
notice.
talking that as you sent it to me. So,
Well,
yeah,
then.
I'll send you.
Yeah, roll a stealth check if you're going to do that.
Okay, hang on.
I'm getting warlock vibes from him.
I'm getting asshole
You want me
vibes
to
from him.
message it to you or say it out loud?
You can say it out loud. It's fine.
21.
Okay. So in there, you find a few things. It looks like some trinkets. You see a kind of semi-ornate looking cloth that's about. Looks like it's made of a silk, like a couple layers of silk, and it is about 1 foot by 1 foot square.
So, handkerchief?
Kind of.
Not
But-
bigger than it.
But a little bigger, and it's it actually, there's symbols on it. And you know that these look like they're arcane symbols. You also notice that there seems to be like a small leather-bound journal.
I'm gonna look in the journal.
Okay. When you take a close look at that journal, as you kind of pull it out and look at it, on the cover of that journal, there are 2 wavy lines that go like that.
Have your cameras blocked for me, so that didn't help.
Okay. 2 wavy lines that go like that.
Oh, god damn it, he's part of the path!
Would I recognize it?
Yes.
After fighting the path?
Yes, that is definitely their symbol.
Okay.
Wow.
It has.
Okay.
Do you flip open the journal?
Just tell Oak, just say it out loud. Just say he's part of the path.
Is Thunder still distracted talking to the others?
Yes.
Okay, I will peek inside.
Okay. As you kind of look inside, the first thing you see is the Journal of Jeremiah Saltwater, dated day 12 in our search, year 3822, location, the plains in the southwest. We think we have found something. Continuing to investigate. That's about all you have time for, is you just kind of open it up and peek.
What happened is Diana wouldn't understand it. However, she's gonna pocket the journal into her bag of holding while the others are still distracted.
I love my sphere of influence. Just whisper in your ear.
But no, she's going to turn. Can I see what everyone is doing, including Thunder?
Okay. You see Jacob holding a conjured picture of Oak, and Oak looks just like a Greek shifter god in this picture. Jacob did him justice. Oak is standing there, kind of looking
like someone ran over his puppy.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit sad for a second, because just like, oh yeah, Redfern's dead.
One of my best friends.
Rogar is actually kind of looking over his shoulder at Oak and Jacob standing there for a second, like, what's going on here, you guys? And Thunder is still standing there with his large pipe, smoking it, and he's got a kind of a smile on his face, and he's looking up at Oak with his one eye ruined.
No, wait, no, that was a bad thing.
You what?
Well, it can be hard to keep track of what I should be feeling for certain characters, because I know Thunder is a jackass, but I also horribly disfigured him.
No, it just depends.
Here's a question. Is Thunder within 30 feet of me?
Oh, yes. You guys are all about, well, let's see. If you guys kind of like walked in and moved closer, you would still be near the doorway of the tent and that wall because of where you found that. But if you the other step forward, you might be about 10 feet away from him. Diana, you're about 15 feet away from him. Rhogar, you're like, basically sitting, kind of just a few feet apart in front of each other.
Oh, God. He's used to this shit, which means his wisdom's high as fuck.
Oh boy, here we go.
My DC's not high enough right now.
Oak is gonna turn to Jacob, but he's gonna say, "What the fuck is that picture, dude?" aggressively showing it to people.
Diana's gonna turn and step over and just very calmly ask, because she wants to see if she can get a reaction to this. And she's going to ask, as a shaman, you must be good at directing people down the paths that they're supposed to go, right?
Of course, sister.
Oh, okay.
You are a shifter.
You are a shifter.
Yeah.
I like that tone.
He also hated her prior.
Well, Oak just gained favor, so he has the favor.
Yeah.
He's also
He is. You are in his tent with the lieutenant of the tribe standing in front of him, who just beat up the former lieutenant, and
brutal.
and two other people as well. One of them wearing lots of armor. One of them aggressively holding a picture.
Oak does outrank him, by the way. Oak does outrank him.
Yeah.
Oh, this is...
It's not the right animal, it's okay though.
She's going... Was there any embroidery on the handkerchief?
Yeah, it's embroidered, but it's not words or designs. It's symbols, clearly like magical symbols.
She's having... Okay, this is going to be difficult, so bear with me. Having counter-charm prepared, she's going to blatantly hand the handkerchief to Jacob.
Okay.
While just watching Thunder.
Okay.
Oh. Alright.
Thunder watches the exchange and then says, "Oh, you found the satchel. I actually had a question about that. I figured as outsiders, perhaps you could answer."
Sure.
And Diana's gonna hold a hand up to the others as if to tell them, don't talk yet. And she's gonna...
Go ahead.
She's gonna watch Thunder carefully before going, is that before or after you try to use magic on us?
I wasn't going to use any magic on you.
Oh, Rhogar will open up with it. God, we're past that stage.
Yes.
Oak's eye twitches.
So she's gonna look at Rhogar and go, so he's already tried to use magic on you?
Yeah.
And he has tried on me. A test of wills.
It's what
Does that also go for the chief?
And Oak's head whips towards Thunder.
I do not know of what you speak. The chief
If you
is
do,
under
don't
nothing.
try to lie to me.
I will use this picture.
Jacob, put the picture down.
It's important that I keep it.
I looked at Thunder real quick. I have no clue here.
Just, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You doing what you're doing.
Well, we were having a, exchange of words.
Yes.
Yeah, that's over right now. Because, Diana, would you care to elaborate on why you believe Thunder has tried to use magic on the chief?
Because I stopped him from doing it.
With a counter charm, you say?
Would he know what her counter charm is?
Well, Oak's probably heard you use the term before.
And she would just nod and go, yeah, right before the fight.
And Oak just looks at Thunder, just like,
This picture and the person you're gonna fucking
Thunder, would you care to either try to defend yourself or admit to being an asshole and moving the tribe away from their our ancestral land?
I am no asshole.
I mean,
Fine. I admit to influencing the chief, but
Ah!
for the good of the tribe.
what's good for the tribe than for them leaving our ancestral lands? We are shifters. We are meant to shift, to travel. Why are we staying in one
Right.
goddamn spot?
Not when the land has become tainted. He points to the satchel. When outsiders came to our lands asking for help, and the chief decided to give them favor. That is what is left of them. And the evil they brought upon our lands. I had to convince our chief to leave. He would not.
Oak
And,
is
and,
Hold on.
and she would just, like, pat her. She's like, I already know.
he's gonna, Diana, can I see the satchel, please? I'd like to see what's inside it.
On one condition.
That I don't murder Thunder right away?
Yeah, you don't move from this spot.
I will try my best. Is that okay? You know what? No, I will not harm Thunder because I've got a better plan for him.
Yeah, we kind of need him alive, Oak.
Okay,
Yes.
let me see it.
away from you.
And she'll show Oak the journal with the symbol on the front.
And Oak. Okay.
And she'll immediately point at him and go, you promised.
I know, I promised. He's just taking some deep
Diana's
breaths.
gonna step.
Wow.
Diana's gonna look at Thunder
there
while
anything-
Oak's hyperventilating.
No, he's not hyperventilating, he's calming himself down. Was there anything else in the satchel?
Just
Yes.
a handkerchief.
There was also some, like, little
Baubles
baubles and trinkets. I mean, nothing that seemed important. Just like maybe some small personal effects.
Okay, I wanted Jacob to take a look at the symbols on the rag. But he's too busy with that fucking picture.
Okay. Let's go drag this guy through the mud. And Oak's gonna grab Thunder by the collar, drag him back
And
to the
Diana
circle.
will immediately grab Oak's wrist and go, Oak, let him go.
I'm not gonna hurt him. I'm just gonna shame him in front of the tribe.
Let go.
He's with the path, Diana.
Except the satchel isn't his.
I was going to say that. He made it sound like he was stopping the path.
Fine.
Or, wait, you never used that word. I didn't use that word. I have no idea what the path was.
Jacob, it looks like you were wanting to say something.
No offense, but he's charismatic. Is it possible that he just lied?
Can I roll for it?
He's just
Sure. Roll an
Make it
insight
loud.
check. And that's your thing, so you get advantage on that.
Oh. That'd be cool.
It sounds like you're quiet again compared to everyone there, Jacob.
I'm quiet again.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I can hear you fine.
I got a nat 20 plus a 5, so it's a 25.
Okay.
I'll just move the reflection to my force, guys.
He seems like he's on the up and up.
I got a 17.
So,
I wanted to
Diana-
roll Pufferfish.
We'll turn to the others and go, generally, yes, but his heartbeat hasn't changed once the entire time, even after showing what was in the satchel.
Fine. And then Oak is gonna turn to Thunder. He's gonna say, "Do you know who the path are? Do you know what they're doing, what they've done?"
No. Please.
Fuck.
Sit.
Please explain.
He says,
now Oak
please
is-
sit.
Oak has just like Oak is still pacing, and he won't sit down, but he'll like cross his arms and he'll stand and be like.
Diana will look at Thunder and go, "Just let him pace. It'll be better than trying to get him to sit down."
Fine. He looks over to you, Rhogar.
Yeah.
And he says, "You and I have an understanding already.
Yeah.
As I said, we have common interests, I think. So, I think you will understand when I say that something trailed two individuals. The one that carried that," pointing again to the satchel, "and a companion of his. They arrived about," and he would put it in different terms, but basically it was a little over 4 moon cycles.
Right.
So 4 months.
They showed up in our lands. They used honeyed words and trinkets and convinced the chief to allow them to peruse through our tribal hunting territory. They even had the chief assign me to guide them.
Yeah,
And he kind of spits out of the side of his mouth or something. They were foul.
Did they ever
And what
find
the-
it?
What they found, and what I saw, was even fouler.
What was it? Please, Thunder, I need to know.
Spirits. Many, many spirits, those long dead, arose from the ground.
Was there a tiny black rock in the center?
That was the one thing he touched.
Yeah, I'm
So we're kind of already accustomed to that thing.
yeah. Rhogar, we'll fill you in a bit.
He goes on to describe, he actually, he seems to relax a little bit as he kind of is taking you in with his eyes and seems to be just a little more confident by your body language that you're not going to haul off and slaughter him right now.
I was never gonna slaughter him.
I know, but he was a little worried about
Okay,
that.
what is with the picture?
Seeing as everything is calming down, he's just like, alright. It's gone.
Diana's
Okay.
why? Why did you make the picture in the first place?
Well,
What
it's something that he
point is that?
feels distasteful towards, so it's a useful component that I need. I don't know.
This is not how it works, Jacob.
I mean, technically for that spell, yes.
Oh. No, because if the actual person of spite is in front of them, they're not going to look at the picture, they're going to look at the actual person.
Well, it's not about looking at the person, per se. It's just an item that they would deem distasteful to them. So if they don't like the picture with the person that they hate, no offense, then it would work.
That's not how it works.
You don't know until you try. Maybe, maybe
What was that, Rhogar? I could.
His entire job is
Okay.
literally
Hold on.
reading people.
Hold on. What was that, Rhogar?
I'll look at Jake and be like, I understand, man.
thank you.
Now, as I said, he kind of relaxes a little bit, and he starts to go into details of this tale. He tells how he ended up journeying for 3 days with these two individuals. One who went by the name of Jeremiah, who carried the satchel, and
Was he a
seemed
bullfrog?
no, but he was a frail little human, very skinny, kind of like you. He points to Jacob.
Diana, under her breath, I'm sorry, Diana, under her breath, is just gonna go, it's just the word. She's not that skinny.
and then he says, and another large.
Hold on. There's a child.
Damn that cough! No,
I know.
And his companion that traveled with him, who went by the name of Alem, who was much larger, not as large as the majority of the shifters in the tribe, but he was a larger human, and he kind of put them together as the brains and the brawn, is what he assumed based on how they handled things, but he was not very impressed with them overall. But he led them through the lands for 3 days, trying to show them, as they brought up information and clues to things. We need to look for this, or the next thing I need to find is this. He would
So they were on the national treasure hunt kind of thing.
Yeah, and he helped them because in his mind is the sooner they found whatever they're looking for, the sooner they'll get out the fuck of our lands and leave us the hell alone.
I should use a better term, an Indiana Jones style treasure.
Yeah. But he was like, fine. Chief told me to help you. I'll help you. Find what you're here for, and GTFO. And that's what he kind of relays to you. And he says that while we were going through the wilderness, we came upon a very old graveyard, one with rundown, with headstones and things like that, and a small. He's not sure the word for it, but it's a mausoleum. And they actually went into this graveyard, entered the mausoleum, and when they got there, this Jeremiah went over, drew some symbols on the back wall of this place, placed his hand on the wall, said some words, and a door slid open, and there was a stairway down.
And Diana's gonna stop him for a moment and ask him, do you happen to remember what the words were?
Also, how long ago was this? Was it like...
It's
like 4 moon cycles.
No, but okay, last session you said they'd been here for like 4 years.
No, 4 months.
Oh.
Yeah, you said years.
Yeah, you said years, man.
I said years? I thought I said months.
Years.
Okay.
You said years.
Meant months. That was my bad. That's called brain no worky.
Years would also make more sense because Oak has been gone for like a decade. So.
Yeah. So it's been like 4 months that they've been there.
Yeah, because the amount of plant life you explained that had grown around the tents and everything wouldn't be that flourished within a 4-month time.
So are we still going with years?
No, it's 4 months.
Okay.
It was supposed to be months. I said years by accident. That's my bad.
Did you say so?
Yeah.
Look, shaman druids, they can just make it grow faster.
Yeah.
You know what, mood?
Spirit can also make you grow faster too.
That's true. But then he describes how they went down the stairs and they found themselves. Hold on. They found themselves in this underground, like just these, like an underground buildings, the likes of which he had never really seen, as he's never been to a city. And he said it was it was there in the deepest depths that we came across this black rock, and the stupid one reached his hand out and touched it before this Jeremiah fellow could stop him. His form shriveled, and this disgusting green glow emanated from his body. And then, well, the dead walked everywhere, and we had to leave very quickly. Unfortunately, Jeremiah did not escape.
Was he a bullfrog? I'm sorry, I'm gonna
Yes, he was eaten by a cat. No. But he did not escape. Fortunately, thanks to my understanding of our woods and our lands, I managed to evade them.
Are the for lack of a better term, zombies still in the territory? Do they still roam, or are they?
There are many things in our territory now, all of which.
So it's all gone to shit.
Reek of the stench of death.
Diana's gonna put her hand up because she's been getting ignored, and be like, "So, two things. One, do you remember the words that you heard him say? And secondly, did the stone get left there?"
Yes. Why would I take such a vile thing?
Because we need it. We're not going to use it for anything. We're trying to protect the world from it. And the rest of the pieces that go with it.
And you would rid our lands of this evil? If that is the case, I will take you there myself and help you.
Really?
Diana's gonna put her hands on her. It's not that simple, sadly.
And yes, I remember the words. They're on that cloth.
Okay, well that helps. And then she's gonna look and go, and I take it that's why you've been charming the chief to keep him from going back?
He would not listen.
Okay.
Our people were in danger.
Thank you for explaining this for me, because I thought you were manipulating everyone. So, thank you.
What I'm curious about...
Go ahead.
So why were you trying to charm him during the fight?
Oh, I think that's because he has a grudge on me.
Yeah, but
I will admit, Lieutenant, you are not my favorite member of the tribe. But
I understand.
You do outrank me now.
Yeah, no, I don't. You hold a grudge against me. And I realize that, and I would like to say now, I am really, really sorry about what I did.
That wasn't in your control. I mean, you were literally raging. You had no control over yourself.
The situation later. But I will say, we were all assholes as kids, so.
I knew assholes once.
I'm sure you're familiar with many.
Oh.
Yes.
I like how I can watch the reactions of each one of you getting that.
Yes, I am. Yes, we may all have been assholes as children. But if you truly mean to rid our lands of this evil, we'll help you.
Of course.
But I would need you, and he points to Rhogar, and you, and he points to Jacob.
Wait, then you're also getting the bard, because she and the wizard are inseparable. And
no, I need their.
What the fuck expression?
I need them to help me.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Also, do we still have the confession tree that we tie people to?
And based on stories that Oak had told me, we can't just go and get the stone. We have to get something from someone else that can actually hold the stone.
Yeah, so...
He points.
What?
Right to Jacob
The statue?
and the cloth that you are holding. Jeremiah said he was going to use that before we had to run because the idiot touched that stone.
Okay, good to know. Jacob, do you think it could hold more than one piece?
Depending on the size.
It's about the size of a bandana.
No, I meant like magic.
Yeah, you're right. It's about a bandana size, maybe. So maybe a little longer than 1 by 1. Maybe it's, foot and a half by foot and a half, whatever.
I don't know its magical contents yet. Just hold on. I'll get to that when we have a little bit of time. Firstly, Thunder, was it right?
Yes.
What specifically do you need us to do?
Well, unless you want to travel for over 2 weeks to get there, I would need some assistance with a spell.
Alright.
Diana's just gonna look at Jacob and think, you're Thunderstep, but on steroids.
Well, I get what he's saying. I'm asking him what he needs.
I don't know, you walked into a tent with a picture of Oak. At this point, I'm questioning your sanity.
It's all a spell, okay?
And then Oak is gonna just whisper to Thunder, this is why we need the confession tree.
I'm looking at both of them. Fucking confession tree.
And Diana's gonna point it out because she heard him and go, you are not tying me to a goddamn tree again.
Again?
I'm just saying, it gets results fast.
True, because last time the only result you got was us almost dying via spikes.
Well, yeah, that's because we didn't have an enchanted rope to keep you tied there.
You're not tying us to a tree. Oh,
Thunder, what do you need for us to
What do
be
you do when you're asleep?
First, I will need you.
I will cut.
I will need you both to prepare some things with me this evening.
Right.
This is something we must imbue several items with power.
I can talk to the chief to make sure he really understands the situation so you don't have to charm him anymore.
He looks at you.
I can help.
He looks at you, Oak. He actually lets out a long sigh. You still see a hint of kind of disgust in his eyes when he looks at you, but he says, I would greatly appreciate that, Lieutenant.
No problem.
No problem.
Diana.
And your help would be appreciated too, sister. As he looks at you, Diana.
She's like, by the way, I have to ask. What are shifters doing so far south?
What do you mean? We have always lived here.
But I've had this conversation with Oak, and I'm still relatively confused. I've never met a tribe of shifters so far south from where I live.
Well, I do not know what to tell you. Our people and a few other tribes have always lived in these lands. Occasionally we
Are you in
meet.
contact with the other tribes?
Occasionally. We sometimes meet them, trade, find new husbands or wives for our clans, where people bridge the gap between the two to form alliances.
That's the word I was looking for.
We would not harm each other. We would not harm the other clans,
No, that's
nor
not
they
what
us.
I'm thinking. Thunder. You and the chief, can I talk to you later while they're handling the magic that you need them to?
I will be handling it with them.
Then we can discuss this after we find that piece of the Black Star.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're coming back, Oak.
Why not? You are the lieutenant.
Yeah, we have to bring this guy back, and I can't leave my
I
tribe.
meant us.
Who?
Not you.
Oh.
We're gonna have to take the stone back to the church. You have to stay with them. We're gonna be splitting up the moment we have it. We can't risk bringing it close to the tribe.
But wouldn't teleporting back here be closer to Asteron than staying down there?
Here's the thing, Oak. Do you really want to bring the very item that summons demons and monsters right into the center of where all your people are?
That is a very good point. Yeah, we'll talk to them before we go.
Is there a way to, steal this item? Did you hear, Jeffrey? Was that his name? Was his name Jeffrey?
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
And Diana's gonna look at Oak and go, except weren't you carrying the stone in a sealed package and one of your friends was essentially going crazy carrying it?
No, she just hated carrying it. I think it was...
I just hated carrying it.
I know she was, like, spiritually attached to it, and I know she absolutely hated it. But I don't remember... I genuinely do not remember her going insane because of it. If she
wasn't
was...
that in a box?
You have a very good point. Yeah, we're not bringing that anywhere here.
Oh, there's not a way to continue that.
From the way Oak described it, we've talked to him about this before. The way Oak had described it was whoever grabs the stone, it binds to.
Well,
so whichever one of us picks it up in the cloth, we're kind of stuck with until we get it to the church. Anybody who came in contact with that stone, even inside of the box, kept trying to take it.
Well, I do not mind taking hold of this stone. I am very used to forces guiding my hand.
Here's the thing, Rhogar. The stone, between what Oak has told us and what Jacob and I were reading up on, you're probably the last person we want holding.
Yeah, doesn't it like
because you're literally a soul of darkness.
Yeah, it feeds on your darkness. So we want like the purest, brightest soul we can get to like grab it. So that would be Diana right now, even though
the moment he says that it would be on Diana to carry the stone, she just instantly look at Oak and go, just because I'm cute and bubbly doesn't mean we have to throw my life away, okay?
No, I'm not saying that we do. But you would be our best chance to actually hold the
fairly
I will cancel you. I am not dark.
Because Jacob is a moody motherfucker. And Rhogar
you know what? You're not wrong.
Is probably a warlock. And
it's probably
well, not the slanderous words around.
Oh, come on, we all know it.
We just look at Rhogar and go, let me put it this way. Having the literal fallen angel of a god holding a stone of evil is not a good idea.
Yeah, it's really not.
Wait,
could I not mage hand it?
No.
It's immune to magic?
No, like it would. I think it would like
absorb your magic and still try to go after you.
Or it would know that you're the one doing the magic and still attached to you.
Okay, what if Jacob, do you know mage hand? If we both mage handed at the same time.
You know what? That actually
big brain chicken.
People can't bind to two people. Two people.
Or we could just find like a random person and like pay them to hold it?
I don't know how I trust that. I don't trust that.
Diana will just let him go. I'll just carry the stone once we get it inside the cloth.
I mean, that's honestly...
Oh, counterpoint. I'm the one with the most brightest outlook on life as it stands.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Yeah. It's been 4 days.
Murder kingdoms!
Oh. I mean... Don't you want to kill your mother?
There is a difference between killing a kingdom and killing a singular person.
Whoa. I'm here to kill the princess. I'm here to kill 2 people, and I guess anyone that's loyal to them, yes.
Then that's...
Kingdoms!
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna kill the peasants.
Okay, we can talk philosophy later. But right now, I'm gonna go talk to Great Bear and get him all cool with the situation, so...
Alright.
BRB.
Okay. Don't know
and Oak's gonna leave the tent to go talk to Great Bear.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Thunder had been watching this group of people just constantly bickering with each other until it finally came to a consensus that Diana would end up being the one to carry the mother.
Okay.
Okay. So well bad that Thunder thinks he's evil in a way.
Jacob's gonna pull out that cloth.
You gonna take a look at it?
He's gonna take a look at it first.
Okay. So give me an Arcana check.
Can do that.
And do it with advantage since Rhogar's helping.
Coolio.
While those two are helping that, Diana's gonna stand and look at Thunder and go, I'm actually going to go talk to the chief with Oak, if you don't mind.
Thank you, sister.
26.
Okay. Both of you you're looking at it and you're kind of discussing back and forth a little bit, and you come to the conclusion and said, this looks like there's 2 things on here. It seems around the edges, this seems to be some kind of opening spell, and you'd actually recognize it as like the knock spell, or, like open close, It's,
okay.
And then, yeah. And then in the center, the large symbols and arcane lettering in there, it is a very powerful binding spell.
Could we make it bigger?
I was gonna say, can we attach it to a box?
Or put the symbols on a bigger piece of cloth?
Yeah, Rhogar is right. Something like that would take time. It might be possible, but it would have to be something that you would have to research and look into to see if that was a possibility or not.
It's not as stupid as I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly forward on what it is.
Well, if
it should actually be able to stop the stone from...
That's what I was going to ask. If it stops the stone, then...
It doesn't really matter who carries it at that point.
Yes. Should it not be with someone with the most protection, I should say.
Meanwhile, Oak and Diana are walking to...
Yep. You guys walk to go see the chief.
He's explaining how, when they first saw the stone, first almost disintegrate someone or something of the fact. And he's like, I was so adamant that we just put it back in its spot because I was just like, yep, it was a rock that was been disturbed and that it just wanted to go back to its spot, like how rocks do.
Now that you're hearing that somebody else had touched it without ever actually moving it and it still caused chaos, you're kind of going, not the case?
No, I've just kind of learned over a while that not everyone agrees with our culture, so I've kind of had to internalize all of it, so...
Alright, so, while you two are heading off to go talk to the chieftain, Jacob and Rhogar, Thunder looks to you and says, we must begin this if we are to be prepared by the morning.
Oh.
Right?
And so he brings out what looks like a large handcrafted book that is actually the bark of 2 trees for its covers, that are bound together with vines, and the pages are actually pieces of tanned leather from the hides of animals, and then it seems to be inked with some kind of dye that is naturally made, and he, besides just these inks of things in this book, there also seems to be pieces of like bones tied in there with leather strips, feathers, other things like that, a flower pressed in here, I mean, it's like the craft, book from hell for shamanism.
Jacob is just gonna pull out his own book. He's just gonna place it down onto the ground, and it's just gonna...
There we go. Lost her for a second.
He's gonna pull out his spell book from his pouch, and just gonna open it up.
Mm.
Is there anything specific that we are looking for, or...
Yes, he is thumbing through, and he's like, here, this is it. And he starts pointing out to both of you, and this is unlike a magic that either of you have ever really, experienced before. You know arcane magic, both of you. You've seen divine magic. This is something different. This is more primal. It seems to have its roots in, very primal feelings, primal thoughts, looking at, like base urges and using the energy that is created from those things, the energy from an animal when it is in fight or flight mode, the energy of a plant reaching towards the sun to suck in the life-giving light, the energy and the heat of passion between two people when they are overcome with lust. I mean, it is base urges.
I just hit Jacob and Diana to get a fill.
Yeah. The feeling of insane hunger and from starving to death, where these primal urges to hunt, to kill, to mate, to live, to survive, all of this is tied together somehow in this natural magic. And it has a different, as you're looking through, I mean, it just has a different feel to it. And I do need both of you to give me intelligence checks.
Just base intelligence?
Just base intelligence.
These dice suck.
Hey now!
Man, critical hit gaming supplies, at least they look pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, we're twins. I got a 0.
15 or 5, not 15. Yikes, that'd be crazy if I got a 15 on it.
You also got a 1, Rhogar?
I got a 1 too.
Okay. 5. So the first 10 minutes that you are looking at this and he's trying to explain this,
it's
both
the math lady picture.
Yes. No, but both of you actually just get these pounding headaches, and you both feel nauseous, and you actually suffer a level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Because it is such an alien way to do magic that you are just, it's like staring at, tiny print on a computer screen for 24 hours straight. You're just feeling like shit. And he notices this for a second. He's like, hold on. He goes over to a corner of his tent. He pulls out a little jar, and he takes some paste, and with 2 fingers, spreads it across your forehead, Jacob, and then does the same thing to you, Rhogar. This stuff smells horrible. Absolutely horrible. Actually, roll a Constitution save, both of you.
Fucking 8.
I have to see what my thing is. Constitution save +2, 15.
Okay. Rhogar, you feel like you are ill for a second, but you kind of like, oh man. But then your headache starts to go away, slowly but surely over about the next 20 minutes. You start to feel a little bit better. You're still kind of worn down from just this horrible headache, but you're not feeling any pain anymore. Jacob.
Yeah.
For a split second, the pain intensifies so much that you get like a vertigo effect, and
yeah, that's funny for a blind man to get.
Yeah, and you throw up.
Well, I hope the tent is clean.
Well, you hear, and then through Hrim's eyes, you see as the fur skin that was on the ground that you threw up on, he kind of just rolled it up and he threw it outside.
Oh.
But over the course of about another 15-20 minutes, your head does start to feel a lot better, and you no longer have any pain. You're still, both of you still have a level of exhaustion, but you are now feeling better, at least physically. And then he says, "We shall have to take this slow at first, I see. So both of you, he begins to go slowly through this, and now I need both of you to again make intelligence checks."
Oh boy, isn't that with disadvantage?
Yep, because you got exhaustion.
Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, I can take that. 13.
I got a 1.
So a 0.
No, I got a 2
okay,
on
so
the
you
die.
got a 2 on the die.
I went up by 1.
You went up by 1. Okay. Before you get to the headache, you know that this is still giving you a hard time. You take a step back and say, I need a minute, and you kind of sit and think. Jacob, you're starting to understand it. And now he takes a break with you guys. It has now been a solid hour, but he takes a break with you guys for a little bit and says, "Let us get something to eat. That may help you." And he says, "Wait here." He runs out and comes back a little bit later with some food. And
he's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. He's gone for maybe about 5 minutes.
For the 5 minutes, just quickly, Jacob is going to sit there and kind of glance to Rhogar. So, opposite sides of the wall, right?
Did I break her?
Not really, Yeah, we were opposite sides of the war, definitely.
I can tell from your accent, as I'm sure you can tell from mine.
Yeah.
It also helps that Diana kind of threw your entire history under the bus.
Who? I heard from a fox. I'm not going to say anything.
I'm not surprised, for one. But, as I'm sure you know, Continue, I'm sorry.
It says this is just very obvious. We should just be men about this and just say our feelings or something.
Fairly true. I'm going and I'm trying to defeat one person that has more strength than I do right now.
I feel the same way. Who is the person you speak of? I might know them.
I'm looking for someone that was on the Southcut side. A commander known as Divron. If I can get to him, the plan is to defeat him in any means necessary. And I don't know where to go from there. Honestly, the entire system's kind of fucked.
I would
on both sides.
That. Yeah. I mean, I've spoken with said bots. Still not using any names, it's just part of the background I have, you know?
Fair enough.
Inside.
That's fine. I
But,
guess.
I plan to hopefully not die in the process, but remove said heads of power and reunite the land under one ruler, and also abolish at least in said continents. Or we could revamp it and make it more desirable. I have a lot of plans, actually.
Huh. That actually doesn't sound too bad. It's been a very long time since they were one. From what I remember, I mean, it's been such... Yeah, I was very young. I was maybe 4 and such.
Was one.
From the time that they were one place.
I think Diana wasn't even.
I was
I don't know. She was
5.
like 2 or so years younger than Jacob.
Yeah, I think I was
And
about
Oak is only
5.
19.
So she would have been 2, and she's like 24.
No, I'm not saying it as an actual statement of fact. I don't know exactly what age he is because I'm not looking at it right now.
I'm pulling up the thing.
Yeah, I'm a year older than you, I know that.
So he's just rough estimating himself, just saying I was probably about 4.
Yeah, we're just playing with numbers in the background.
Yeah, it was 18 years ago.
Okay, well then I was actually a lot older.
I was 2. Oh my god, I was 11.
I was...
Oak was 1. I was right. I love my weird...
25 minus 18.
I was 10.
Is 7. 25 minus 18.
Thank you. I can't math.
Well, maybe a little older.
I have this
roughly.
weird thing where I can just remember everything or nothing, so...
I'm the same way.
ADHD. It's great.
Yes.
But
Alright.
either way, Rhogar, the goal is... If I can help you with this, will you help me... She doesn't like the word, but you to me, will you help me kill Diamond?
Oh, sure.
She doesn't like the word, meanwhile she helped plot an entire overthrow with him.
I mean, I would love to, you know, all this one thing that I want to do. I want to grab someone by the throat and just cast the first at the highest power that I can, just to see what would happen.
That is intense, but I like your style for that. It's very good to have you on the team. Please don't do that to me.
Oh, no. You seem more like a hellish review.
Oh, great.
I just, in case, I don't know you guys, I'm just...
Yeah, fair enough,
I thought y'all were gonna try to kill me. So I was stealthy.
Makes sense.
But now that I'm thinking about it, you seem a little dexterous after some people sneaking around.
Alright, so, at this point, Thunder comes back in with food, provides some food to you guys, and then he turns to you, Jacob, and says, You seem to be getting it. Could you perhaps help him? So, that now...
It's more straightforward.
Now, he says, and we will go slow still. And he works with both of you, and now that you are starting to get a grasp of it, Jacob, and you're all kind of starting to work together, I need you both to roll intelligence checks. No disadvantage, though, even though you have one level of exhaustion. Because you're all working together and going slow to try to overcome this.
Come on. Grade 8.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
All right. Good. So, you all work together with that, and you're now starting to get some progress. Over the course now of the rest of the evening, he spends about another 4 hours kind of going through this process with you of what needs to be done and kind of teaching you how to use this magic. And he then says, okay, now we need to all do this together. And he pulls out several different things. One is a Wolverine skull. Another is a necklace that seems to be made of some like obsidian and other semi-precious stones. You know, things that you might find in nature, and if you took some time to, you know, kind of clean and polish up and do things with, they look nice. They're not worth a ton, but, you know, they look nice. You know, then, a couple items like this that he has placed around, and he says, we must now imbue these with power. And he sets one, an item in front of each of you and one in front of himself, and he crosses his legs and sits down in front of it, puts his hands on it, and then you start going through this process. This takes the rest of the evening and into early morning before you have finally put the power into these items that they need.
Meanwhile...
Yep, that's exactly what's it. Now, while all that was happening, Oak and Diana, you have arrived at the chieftain's tent. So, what are you going to do?
And she's gonna look at Oak and go, do you want me to explain? Do you want you to explain? I mean, I'm the better talker, but you're kind of like...
I can explain the rock stuff, and then you can explain your Kingdom Alliance thing.
Oh, so you did understand where I was going with this.
Yeah, it's not that hard to figure out.
Look, I have my moments, okay?
I have gotten smarter, okay? I'm not a dumb rock that wants to.
I know, I'm proud of you. It kind of makes me sad that you're not going with us anymore.
I haven't processed it yet, and we're not going to process it until we come to that. And I haven't decided what to do with the horses yet.
I mean, good point. You kind of need to, at least.
I've heard nothing of what you said. You went all the way back.
Yeah, you were kind of breaking up a little bit.
Sorry, my phone was glitching. How about now?
Yeah, you're good now.
She's like, yeah, no, that's fair. We kind of need at least 2 of them. Mainly the pack horse.
We'll decide this later, okay? I can't. Not with this emotional stress. And then he's just gonna...
You are more of a drama queen than I am, and I'm the princess.
And he's gonna go into the big tent.
Okay.
Like, hello, Great Bear, Chief, good sir. Yo, my dude.
Sir?
You have learned some strange ways of speaking, Lieutenant.
Yeah, I think that's my fault.
That happens after a decade of not being with the tribe.
By the way, I called your shaman out on his shit.
Yeah. So.
What shit?
Oh, the
So.
charming you bitch.
Let me explain. Okay, so there is a reason, a good reason why we left our the ancestral our ancestral tribal land.
Yes, I decided.
There's another reason. So, Thunder explained to me and the rest of my friends that you allowed a couple of people to explore the lands and our territory and look for something. And Thunder said that they found it, but they died trying to get it. What they were
the outsiders came and left. They had found their thing and left. And then I decided we move and stay here.
Let me try something, Oak. Diana's... This is a stretch, but bear with me. Because
Great bear with you?
Because charm can have lasting effects. Can she try to use counter charm to erase prior influence to try and get his mind to clear up a bit?
You can try.
And as she's doing that,
what I will say is you are going
it's
to
more
have...
like a role play than an actual mechanic.
Oh, no. There's a mechanic for what you are trying to do. I will need you to roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
This is something you should be able to do, because that's your one of your things.
Haha, 23.
Okay. It's a combination of whatever you're going to say, which I need to hear, and the counter charm.
What you think you chose and what was chosen for you aren't the same, and you need to listen to Oak rather than what you think you decided.
Okay. I will say that those words are enough to give you a +2, which is enough to get what you needed in order to not really remove what has happened, but get him to really pay attention and consider that maybe he's wrong.
And after that...
Go ahead.
After that, she'll turn to Oak and then just kind of like step back and let it go from there.
Yes, Lieutenant.
So, a few months back, I was in West Shore. And while I was there, a few other people and I found something that was very similar to what Thunder and those other people found when they were looking for the thing that they were looking for. The two that came to you were part of an organization called The Path. I have personally declared war on them, the organization, not those two people. But that's not important right now. They are looking for something that is called the Blackest Heart. And it is scattered in pieces across the realm. And me and one of my other party members, we came across it in West Shore. One part of it in West Shore. And we gave it to a church in Asteron. We are trying to get it back because of dreams that we received that show that we need to protect it and keep it out of the wrong hands. And Thunder said that when the stupid big one, those are his words, not mine, touched that piece of the blackest heart, it basically raised the dead, or some form of raising dead, and has actually tainted the land, that our territory. And our plan is to go there, get the piece of the blackest heart, and hopefully in some way rid the land of that curse, that poisoning taint, whatever.
We want to give you your home back, but you need to understand why you left in the first place.
This is much to think of.
She's just gonna kind of glance at Oak, because she's like, I don't know how to bring up what I know.
I
She doesn't
must.
say, but like that's the look on her face.
I must sleep on this.
Okay. And then he's gonna turn to Diana, bring it up in the morning.
Except we leave in the morning.
Then I'll bring it up to him sometime after you guys leave.
I mean, you know exactly what I'm trying to do, so I guess that works.
Yeah, and if I need any help, I'll send you a letter. I guess.
Do you even know how to write?
Does Doug know how to write?
You did learn how to read.
Oh yeah, he knows how to write. He knows how to write.
Yeah. Yeah, you spent points to do that, so yes, you can, you know how to do that.
Jacob taught me how to write, Diana. I know how to read and write, and I'm sophisticated. I am a sophisticated boy now.
So, one thing does make her curious, though. She's gonna turn to Great Bear and ask him, this is gonna seem like a very weird question, but...
All of this is weird.
Yeah, that's fair, but, do you know where your tribe originated from?
We have
Like,
always.
It's a
lived
very
in these
long
lands.
time down the line kind of a question, but
Our ancestors, they came from the beasts.
I
And
mean,
the
like,
spirits of the
region-
beasts.
And the forest and such.
The forest. In our lands.
So your tribe started and built here. It didn't come from anywhere else?
The legends do not say of anything else.
Okay.
You sound very disappointed.
It's more, she's confused because she's not used to seeing groups of shifters. That's not her kingdom. Your tribe is the first one she's ever met that's actually like a collective group, not just random races.
Okay. Then I guess we are done talking and we'll leave Great Bear to sleep, I guess.
I must speak to you some more, Lieutenant.
Okay! And Oak suddenly realized what he's done, and he is now feeling the weight of crushing responsibility.
Oh boy.
She's just gonna look at Oak and go, good luck, buddy. And then she pauses and realizes, what the fuck am I gonna do until morning?
Give me one moment, Great Bear. I'm gonna go introduce her to my mom, and then I'll be right back.
I'll be back.
I gotta meet Mama Oak?
Yes, and then he'll lead Diana to River and just be like, hey, this is my mom. This is my friend. This is yes, introduce yourselves. I gotta go meet with Great Bear. Bye-bye.
Wait, don't you think it's a little... And before she can finish her sentence, like, Oak is gone, she's like, isn't it weird that I'm the only female you're introducing to your mom?
No, I don't like anybody, so I don't like anybody in that way. So.
And she's gonna look at his mom and go, I still feel like this is kind of weird.
And his Oak's mom just kind of looks at you and... That's just my boy.
Oh, trust me, I know. Trust me.
Come sit. Have some dinner.
Do you like music?
Yes, of course.
And at that, she's just gonna like grab her bag of holding as she's following his mom and slip it in. She's like, oh, I have a thing to play for you.
Oh, not the bagpipes. Alright, so Oak, do you head back to the chief's tent?
Oh yeah.
Okay. As you come in, the chief kind of pats a bunch of furs that are kind of next to him, and kind of turns to face them so that he's like sitting cross-legged, turning to face them, and offering you a seat next to him.
Oak will awkwardly go sit there because he's like, I'm actually a full member of the tribe. I don't. It's been 10 years. What the fuck do I do? This is awkward. And now I'm in such a position of power. Well, this is all internal, also. And then he just goes and sits down.
He looks at you and he just kind of stares for a second. Nods his head a little bit. And then his eyes kind of lose their luster. They seem to go a little dull. And he looks at you and he says, "Only 3. Well, will be 4 now. Know what I am about to tell you.
Okay.
My former lieutenant is, as part of his position, was sworn to secrecy, and if he so much as utters a word, he knows the punishment.
Got it.
The only other is our shaman, and then myself.
Got it.
You will be the 4th.
Got it. I can do math now.
Basic understanding.
I'm not a rock anymore.
My strength
Okay,
is
I
leaving.
know. What?
I put on a good front for the people.
How
I will
long?
not last very long.
Do we have a timetable? Do we know? What's gonna happen, Great Bear? I'm not ready to be a leader.
The best guesses that Thunder has is less than 1 full cycle of the moons.
Oh shit!
Translation: a year.
Half a month.
No.
Or a month? A year?
Yeah, full cycle of the moons. Moons plural.
So half a year. Okay.
No, full year. Full year.
Yeah. No, but you said half a.
No, 1 full cycle. I said.
Yeah, it's a year.
Yeah, 1 full cycle. Full cycle
Just smile and
of
nod.
the moons.
Smile.
1 year.
Okay. Whatever.
He's
Fine.
He's estimating
Got
1
it.
year.
Yep. Okay. Got it. So a year. Okay.
You will have much to learn, especially given that you have not been with the tribe for 10 full cycles.
Yeah. Man, I'm really starting to rethink my impromptu decision. but I don't regret it.
He grabs your wrist very quickly. His move is still very fast. Grabs your wrist, and you still feel some immense strength there as he's gripping around your wrist, and he lifts it up and holds it. And then you can kind of feel, it's not that his grip relaxed, but you can actually feel that the pressure is not as much. And then he points with his other hand right to your bicep. And he says, "You are strong. Here." And then he puts his hand on your chest. Here. And then on your forehead. And here.
Aww, no one's ever called me smart before.
I will teach you what I can. But you must learn quick. For there is much, and not much time.
I think I learned how to read in like 3 days, so let's do this.
Technically, it was over the course of the entire time, so more like 4 months.
I want it to be 3 days.
Okay.
Jacob just taught him a rapid course.
Rapid course.
How to read.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yay!
Then he looks at the axe that you have slung across your back. And he says, "That looks like a good weapon for a future chief."
Oh.
Hell yeah.
I do have a question though. Is your like giantness like part of being chief? Do I grow like 3 sizes? Or do I stay mean sized?
You have been gone a while, have you not? Roll an intelligence check.
Woo! 2.
You don't remember, if that at all.
Yeah, no,
But he just kind of smiles at you like this. He's like, "One of the many things you have to learn still." I need my rest, and I must think on the things you have told to me.
Also, I think we're gonna leave like tomorrow to go do the thing, so
I will speak to you in the morning.
got it. And he's gonna just be like, get your sleep, man, and he's gonna
Okay.
back out very hard.
Alright. So,
Meanwhile, Diana's just chilling in his mom's tent playing music for him.
Okay. And you guys eventually, Diana, I assume you eventually go to sleep?
Well, actually, against her better judgment, I feel like after everything that happened and the whole impending doom of having to carry a stone of internal evil and darkness, I don't think Diana would be able to sleep.
Okay. Okay, so you
I
sit
can
restless.
see her honestly walking around the camp.
Okay. And you do see that there are a few of the warriors who
What happens
are patrolling.
to what's his face? That oak kicked the ass over.
Turon?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Did he up and ditch, or
You don't know.
I hope he did.
can I look?
Are you gonna search every tent? You gonna search the tents?
Well, his tent was just to the right of and slightly down from the chief's.
Mm-hmm. If you want.
So,
Say it's
Well, Oak is totally spending the night in his mom's tent because that's the only tent he really knows, and it's just like, Mom! He's happy to see her.
And if you go and check that tent, it is empty. And it seems like it is empty. There are some furs on the floor of the tent, but that's it. There's nothing else in there.
She feels kind of bad for getting kicked out. Because she's the one that goaded Oak.
No, she didn't. Oak chose to do this.
Yeah, but she was like, "You're not a kid anymore," and Oak was like, "You know what? Fuck it, you're right. Let's do this thing."
Yeah, but no, Oak decided to do that before she said it.
No. Agreed. Diana, however, feels like it's partially her fault.
Okay.
Especially, you have to understand, she has a lot on her mind now.
Yeah. That's fair.
Alright.
And so, because it takes them all the way until, like, early morning, she's gonna go check on Jacob and Rhogar, and then them being distracted with the spell and whatnot, she's just a lot of hesitation.
Okay. Do you go... Are you, like, going into the tent, or...?
No, she's... Where... She'd probably end up sitting just outside of the chief's tent.
Okay.
Just kind of looking at the entire campground.
Okay. Alright, so eventually... the morning sun starts peeking at the horizon. You actually watch, since you are still up, as there have been some of the warriors that have been on patrol, it seems. Kind of just... They pay you no mind, really. And they just, kind of going around the camp and keeping an eye out. And it does seem like they switched off at some point. But you do see as the sky is the darkest it's ever been, and then finally starts changing to a different colors of purples and reds and yellows and oranges as the sun finally broaches over the horizon, bringing light to a new day. And as you see that, shortly thereafter, a very tired Jacob and Rhogar stumble out of the shaman's tent. And thunder follows behind them. And you watch as they are kind of walk towards the kind of the center area and the chief's tent. And you can see them coming towards you. And go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. 19.
Okay, yeah, you can actually hear them because Thunder's actually got a pretty loud speaking voice. And he says to them, "I will travel with you, but neither you or myself are in shape for what we must face. You must rest, as must I.
Sounds like a plan.
I will come get you when it is time." And he goes back to his tent, and the tent flaps go closed, and the little bit of light that was peeking out from a fire in the center of the tent and the smoke coming up, it goes out as obviously he has doused the fire and it must now be trying to sleep.
Oh. It was something. I was not expecting to have bones appear as we were doing it. That's pretty crazy. It's like the soul was kind of like speaking to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Happens a lot in my dreams.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
stuff just doesn't talk to you in your dreams.
relatively know. But I understand having things talk to me in general, and I know that I can genuinely talk to people in their minds, so... either way, you should sleep. We need to find a way back to those tents and sleep.
I have a keen mind. I will take it to those tents.
Yes, both of you have keen mind. You would remember how to get to the tent.
I know how to get to the tent. I'm saying to Rhogar to go to the tent.
Wait, you're telling me to go by myself?
Yeah, sleep.
Well, what about you? You're, I hate to say it.
No, go ahead, say it.
You're a bit, like, frailer. I just am worried if, an important battle coming up, I can easily hide myself. You, on the other hand, what can you do?
I'm sorry.
I don't know any of your, I've seen you cast a firebolt? Is that what it's called? I don't think I've seen you do anything else.
I'm capable. In fact, I am fairly, really capable. I am knowledgeable and ancient and random knowledge of language, history, magic, and gods themselves.
Oh,
Stuff.
God, you say.
Yeah, I know things.
Well, as long as
Just things.
your views are my views, we're good.
I'm not a follower.
Okay, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah, you do that. Finding your way there.
Yeah, I'm literally just gonna wander the tent. Like, oh, hello.
You eventually find it, and
Nice.
and you lay down to rest. So since you're not heading to bed there, Jacob, what are you doing?
He is going to pull out the handkerchief,
Okay.
and he is going to take some time. Not a lot. He's going to take 30 minutes to kind of understand the arcane knowledge for the opening segment of it.
Seeing
Okay.
Jacob fiddling with the handkerchief, Diana's gonna go over to him and go, shouldn't I be the one to start carrying that?
Not right now, hold on. Hey, I need focus, I apologize.
You also need to go to bed, Jacob. You've been up all night.
That's true. I need to focus on this. Give me a second.
Okay. And it takes more than a secon
Yeah,
because
I
you are tired. About a good 30 minutes later, you think you got a handle on
Alright, coolio. Alright.
So can I have it?
This thing should protect anyone that comes into contact with that stone.
Well, if you're so sure of your own magic, then I should be fine.
Well, this isn't my magic. I'm not sure of it, and I don't want to.
Jacob Oak was right. Rhogar has the intention to take over kingdoms. You are set on revenge. He has to stay with his tribe. I am the only one who can carry it. I am the only one who doesn't have a set plan of some kind of overly plotted destruction. Yeah, I want to get my kingdom back, but not in the ways that the two of you do.
You don't want to kill your mom?
I
Well,
can avoid it.
mom, quote unquote.
What's the point of starting a kingdom based off murder?
Fair enough.
That's not gonna show my people that I'm fit to lead.
I'm not laughing at the conversation, I'm laughing at something on my phone.
Since I can travel around and I can basically teleport this thing to you whenever you need it, I will hold on to it until we are ready.
Jacob, just give me the handkerchief.
I do not want you to have it yet.
Except I know you, and knowing you, you're gonna be the one to use it yourself if I don't take it now.
I'm not going to use it.
Then give me the handkerchief.
Do that. I'm sorry.
Because you're being a... And she's gonna start to try to yell at him, and then she's gonna stop. She's like, I'm not doing the back and forth, Jacob, and I know you. You're gonna pull some backhanded trick to try and handle the stone yourself.
On my name.
Which one?
Both. The name that matters and the name I've had before. On my names. This handkerchief will go to you when you get to this stone. I do not want to just hand it over yet. Because I'm frankly scared of anything that could happen with said. If this thing fucks up, it will fuck you up. And that's not something I can actively live knowing that I handed it to you to make it happen.
And you think I'm not?
That's why I'm going to hold it for now until I can understand it a little bit better to make sure that it will do exactly enough to do what it's meant to do. That it's not some just, oh, let me throw this thing together, maybe it'll work. I want to make sure that it will 100% work so that no one gets hurt. Especially
Well, for that to happen, you need to actually sleep, otherwise you're just gonna screw it up worse.
That's
like
true.
how when you tried to write in your journal and you ended up writing in half-dwarven gibberish for half a page. And you don't even know Dwarvish.
I do know Dwarvish. I
Based
literally
on what
knew.
You wrote? No, you don't.
I knew enough. I could get around Dungaroon myself if I needed to.
Except that journal says otherwise, and I still have the page to prove it.
I still have the knowledge and languages to prove it.
You're going to bed, Jacob.
I didn't say I wasn't.
And if need be, I will have Grim carry you by your hair. And I've had him do it before.
It's not necessarily that strong, but I get what you're saying.
No, but you hate it when he pulls the ponytail.
Oh, that's all.
So, bed now, shoo. And she's gonna start pushing him towards where their tent was.
Uh-huh. Are you going to sleep?
I'm fine. I got sleep.
No. Let's sleep.
I'm fine, Jacob. I have too much energy to sleep right now.
The person who always complains about beauty rest. It's surprising to hear that you have a lot of energy.
Eddie. Don't be a brat, just go to sleep.
I will. Only if you agree to stay in the tent with me. To sleep.
Well, I kind of wanted to go talk to the chief for a little bit.
"20 minutes. And you know I can count it. If you're not there, I will come out to find you and bring you there. And you will sleep."
What are you gonna do, knock me out? That's a rhetorical question, Jacob. Don't actually answer that.
I mean, I wasn't going to knock you out, that's rude. I can get you there, it's not hard, but... knock you out. That's me.
Are you
Either
really
way.
that worried about the symbols on that cloth?
I'm worried about you. And I want to make sure this is good so that you are safe. You got this. That's why I'm worried about it.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I mean,
Literally a person disintegrated from touching it.
I'm trying to be funny, Jacob.
I'm not the funny type.
Hey, I have heard some of the shit you said, though. When you think I couldn't hear you.
Okay, fair enough.
Speaking of Oak, at this point, Oak, you wake up feeling refreshed. And
Surprising
the rest
response.
and the rest of the yeah, no cough. It was weird. And and the rest of the village is also stirring.
Someone was
Someone's
echoing. Someone's echoing.
That might have been me, sorry.
It is you.
yeah, it was.
Sorry, guys. I'm on my phone, so.
Alright, so the rest of the village is stirring. They're waking up as well. So everyone's starting to come awake. And Oak, you know that the chieftain was going to talk to you this morning. So
Okay, Oak will.
But,
Diana, you-
made her way back.
well, you see Oak coming out of his tent and walking towards the chieftain's tent.
She's gonna stop Oak just before the entrance and go, look, I know you need to talk to him, but can I have like 20 minutes?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
20 minutes.
And then Oak will go sit by Jacob and he'll be like, what did you guys talk about this time?
Oh, something about the handkerchief, yeah, and he's just gonna...
Yeah, just wait.
Alright. So
Oak will pat his back. I
so
feel you, buddy.
so Diana, you want to go talk to the chieftain. You're at the door to his tent.
And she's gonna poke her head inside and just kind of like, are you awake?
You can see into the tent, and you see him actually already digging into some food. And just sitting there, he looks up and he's like, "What is it, sister?"
And she's gonna walk in and keep the flaps closed behind her, and she'll go over and sit down next to him.
Okay.
And just kind of sit there silently for a second before admitting, how are you never scared?
What do you mean? What do you mean, how am
When
I
you're
never
faced- When you're faced with something you know you need to do, but you want to run away.
Fear lives in even the heart of the fiercest warrior. You must overcome your fear to do what is right.
How?
I do not have an absence of fear. I follow the path in spite of it. If you know what is true and what is right, you just do that, regardless.
I was raised by a group of people who, if you weren't sure of what you were going to do, you didn't do it. If you couldn't 100% for certain say your plan or idea would work, I was always taught to just run away.
He actually reaches out his arm, which is, especially compared to you, being much smaller than Oak, as he kind of gently puts his hand on your shoulder, and it's like encompassing like your entire shoulder, just this huge meaty,
Yep.
Meaty hand. He puts it on your shoulder gently. He says, "Have faith in those that have your back,
You're right.
and trust in your heart. Follow what you know to be true and good. Things will work out. And if they do not, you will have nothing more to worry about. For you will be with the ancestors, and your worries will be over."
That's a wrong way of saying, or a nice way of saying.
The last person who talked to me about something like this was my father.
Did he say the same as I?
Yeah, just before he died.
He was a wise man. Good man.
He was a king. He had to be.
And he knows the burden of all kings. And if he was a king, then you, sister, will someday be a queen. And you must trust in those that support you.
Thank you, Great Bear.
And he,
And Diana
he
is actually
kinda
going to...
he kind of gives you a little head rub.
And when he does that, she's actually going to hug him.
He kind of seems
before-
taken aback a little bit, and then he puts his arms around you and gives you a very gentle bear hug. You can kind of tell he's worried about snapping you in two.
And then she is going to stand up and walk out of the tent, and then look at Oak and go, "Alright, he is all yours."
Thumbs up. And then he'll pat Jacob on the back. He's gonna be like, "Good luck, buddy."
Yeah, something like that.
So you two go to sleep, I assume.
He'll also tell Jacob.
Yep. And then Oak, you go to see the chief,
Yes.
and he says to you, "I have thought long about what you said.
Cool. What do you
I
think?
do not remember things the way you have described. But I will trust you. You are my lieutenant. I will have your back.
Thank
Go
you,
in,
Great Bear.
go and do your mission.
Got it.
Some of your party may need to rest.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna let him sleep. Thank you, Great Bear.
I will make sure you have a decent meal before you leave.
Thank you.
So, to speed things up just a hair, everyone who needed sleep goes to sleep. Those who didn't quite need sleep, you can either choose to just not, hang out and do things, or rest and whatever. But eventually, the day goes by and it gets into early evening, and Thunder actually comes around to your tents to make sure that everyone is awake.
So a long rest.
Yes, you all get a long rest. So your exhaustion, Rhogar, Jacob, is gone.
Ooh.
And you do get the benefits of a long rest.
And Oak finally is at full health once
Yes.
again. Woo.
Yeah, so you all
25 hit points all
Yeah.
day.
you all have the benefits of a long rest. And it is kind of early evening, about, Jacob, you can look up, it's 6:24 and 30 33, 31, 32, 33. But as you get, as you come out and you start getting ready, there is a feast set out for you guys that that Great Bear has put together, and everyone, it's a feast for the whole tribe. Everyone sits down and enjoys, and you enjoy with them.
At first, Oak is a little tentative to eat with the tribe because past people have stolen his food. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of just like, but then he just slowly realizes, okay, no one's gonna steal my food. I'm good. And I'm second in command. No one's gonna steal my food.
Yep.
I can whack him upside the head if they do.
Yep. And eventually, after this lovely meal, it starts to kind of come to a close, and it's now around 8 o'clock in the evening, and you are basically about a month into summer. So it is starting to get closer and closer to what effectively is the summer solstice, which is the day which is called Centrum.
Yeah.
And that's approximately a month away, so it's still light out. It's the sun is getting lower, but it's still light out at this point in time. Thunder comes over and he looks at all of you and he says, "It is time. Let us go. We must prepare the ritual." He looks to Rhogar and Jacob, says, "Bring the items."
Also, how many beings can this thing transport? Because I've got 4 horses that I think my friends would need.
The horses must stay here.
So then we're gonna need to have them come back. So
yes, this will take us where we need to go and bring us back.
Bring us back. Okay, that's the plan.
So he takes Rhogar, you, and Jacob, and motions for Diane and Oak to follow with him. And you go to a clearing just outside of the village. And he starts directing the both of you to draw some symbols that you had discussed and talked about and gone over these rituals with him over the course of that entire night before. And you begin to basically draw into the dirt a large circle filled with symbols all the way around it. And then at 3 points, basically 120 degrees apart from each other, you place the 3 items, each one of you. This whole process takes about an hour. And it is now, the sun is really starting to set. It is on the horizon here, and it is starting to get dark.
Diana and Oak are just sitting on the side. It's like, yeah, you guys are doing great work.
And then, finally, Thunder steps into the center, and he says, Come, we must go." And he waves you all to come into the circle. He says, "This will only take us because I have seen the place, and it will return us when the time is right."
Is it gonna drop us right where the stone is?
No. There is no space for that.
So we have to fight through a bunch of undead.
I do not know if they are there anymore, but it is possible, which is why we all needed to rest and be ready. So, as you all gather in around near the center of this circle, he reaches out to join hands, and it says, "We must join hands and all say the words together." And he tells you with the words to say, which Jacob and Rhogar already know, and they help Diana, you and Oak to say this. And as you're doing this, you begin almost subconsciously to start to kind of sway back and forth, and the whole thing feels very tribal, very ritualistic. And again, that sensation of this not being of the arcane, not being of the divine, but something completely different, fills your souls. It's not unpleasant, it is just different. And as he says the words, and you all chant with him, eventually, you come across, if it'll load up, and you may, if you're not in Tailspire, and I may have to hop back into the other map just so you guys can jump to the right map first.
What map are we going
to? It's going to be traveling to the wilderness, or traveling in the wilderness.
Traveling in the wild.
Yeah, traveling in the wilds, that's the one. And I think you were the only one who was in there.
That's fine.
Because Rhogar doesn't have his computer, Diana's on her phone, and Oak.
I'm pulling upstairs.
Sorry, guys.
You're pulling it up? That's alright, so I'm going to do that so you can, when you get in, you will instantly jump into the correct map. And, oh, that is not the right one. Hold on.
Wrong map?
Yep. Unknown Realm 2, sorry.
Unknown Realm 2?
I believe so. I didn't label it correctly. Nope, that is not it either. Sorry.
We shall continue jumping around until we find it.
Yeah, Wilderness Travel, that's the one. No, it's not. Damn it. Okay, I know I have it in here.
Technical difficulties.
Yes. No, just memory difficulties. There it is. There it is. So it's map 1.
Okay, I was about to say, is it that one? Oh.
Alright, so...
Oh, gosh. Oh, this is... Oh, it's that thing. Okay.
So, you are now all... right there. That should pop you right to the location so you can see. If you are...
Yeah.
Yep. And let me do this just so that you have them, so that you know where you are. Oak. And Jacob. Since you're the only two in right now, I'll just pop you guys right there so that you can see. But you guys, I think, there you are. And for Diana and Rhogar, if you open up the stream, you'll be able to see the map on there.
See, no.
I'll look at it next Wednesday.
Yeah, but here,
Yep.
But here, oh, and it did not do exactly what it was supposed to.
Curse ye, Tailspire.
Yeah. Oh, I know why. I can just do it this way because I set it up already.
Oh.
There it is.
Okay.
Because the sun has now set.
Hello.
And you are... and you teleport and find yourselves in front of a graveyard. It is very, very old. It is very, very run down. You can hear, some crows and some birds in the distance. You can hear the wind howling through. And there seems to be an odor of death around this place. And as you look upon this place, Thunder points and says, "That is the entrance. That is where we must go." And that is where we are going to end tonight's session. So, I hope all of you who are watching enjoyed. I hope you had a good time. I hope my players had fun. And just, again, a quick reminder, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be doing another collaborative build stream, and we are giving away a Tailspire beta key during that stream. So if you like Tailspire and you want to get in on the beta, there's a chance for you in that one. And then we're going to do it in the next one. We'll give away one, and the next one. We've got 3 of them to give away. One is going to be tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until then, we'll see ya. Bye, everyone.
Bye.